One of the best things about Google Forms is the feedback and the analysis that is automatically given to you as a teacher with doing very little work. So it makes it a very efficient way to get assessment results or feedback about anything that you're doing in the classroom. So up here, if I go to responses, I can see at this stage I've had 3 responses or 3 people who have done my quiz. So if I click on that there, then I have the option of either seeing the summary of all of the responses and the breakdown of the various graphs and the information that Google Forms is giving me. And I've also got the individual responses that I can see, which we'll have a look at shortly. So if I stay within the summary of responses, from my 3 responses that I've got, I can see here that it's giving me the different statistics, and down here it's giving me the graphs as well. So I can see that 2 people have scored 3 points out of 5, and 1 person here has scored 5 out of 5. So really valuable feedback there. And I also love this feature too, that it gives me the frequently missed questions too. So it highlights the ones where under 50% of the people have got this one wrong. So as a teacher, I could see that these are the questions and the areas of work that my students would need to look at a bit further. So really valuable feedback there. And then I can go through each question and it gives me a graph of the various responses for each question as well. So that happens right through. And if I go to the individual responses here, in this particular example, I didn't ask for a student name and I didn't ask to collect the email addresses. But if you did, you'd also have that up here and you'd have that specific group of answers for that individual there as well. So I can see here, if this is the first person who responded, I can go through and I can see all their answers. Up at this button here, this is where I can go to the next response. So that was the second person who did it. I can see all their answers as well, and so on, and see the third. I can also print off the individual responses as well. And if I wanted to see this all in a spreadsheet, I can click this button here, create spreadsheet, and that's going to make a Google spreadsheet where I can see all of the responses together. And so I'm going to create a new one that's going to be called Quiz 1 Responses. If I push create, that's going to automatically load for me. And I can see the time that it was done, the score that each one's got, and along this top row here, that's the questions, and I can see everyone's answers. So obviously that's a lot more valuable when I actually collect the username or ask the respondent to put their name as the first question as well. So really valuable feedback that you get from Google Forms that can really help guide your teaching practice.